Before we go anywhere near today's video, I just wanted to share with you this absolutely beautiful sunset moment. It's amazing how in just the last few minutes of daylight the sun tone can change, and if you're really lucky you get one of these amazing red sunsets. Fantastic stuff. Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from sortofinteresting.com. This is my humble narrowboat home, Abel's Ark, and today you're joining me for an absolutely beautiful boat trip and then a quick look around an absolutely incredible autumnal morning here at the Frankton locks. What an absolutely wonderful place to be. Right, let's go boating. So here we are with a quick time lapse as we leave the marina for the last time for many months to come, as I'm going to spend the next few months over the autumn and winter and maybe into the start of the spring just out and about enjoying being on a boat on the canal in, well, hopefully some beautiful conditions and some beautiful locations. We'll stop the time lapse here though and go at normal pace, just so that we can see that one last time for the year I bump the side of the entry and exit of the marina as I try and fail yet again to make a clean exit. So that's 100% of the time that I've hit the entry and exit of the marina. Now, another point, as we stop the time lapse again and go at normal pace for a moment or two here, I thought that this was just a great little moment where you've got your rural traditional canal scene. We're going to see boats up ahead. We've got the autumn leaves and a little hint of blue sky above. But then we've got classic farming scenes next to us with two tractors working in the field. I just thought it was a beautiful, perfect illustration of the rural canal sort of lifestyle and the canals being in these really rural locations that I always talk about out and about here on the Llangollen. As we pass through Ellesmere Basin here, you can see we've got the service point with rubbish disposal, toilets, toilet emptying facilities, and a big dry dock just to the left that we've passed. And here we are, out and about on the canal now, out of the marina, potentially for many, many months to come, unless something untoward occurs. But we shall see how it goes, and as I say, what a beautiful day for it. It was a surprisingly cold day, and we even got to a point of having to get our coats on. It was so cold. So definitely an end of the year day where you're starting to feel the first little biting moments of winter and wintry weather come in to mingle with autumn. And it's one of those strange things you'll see, like we've got that bit of blue sky, but it's completely concealed for the majority of the sky by cloud, and we kept having that, like just little breaks and patches of blue sky amidst huge skies full of cloud, which gave it quite a strange, calm, sort of eerie, almost like a quiet enclosed thing, because you can tell the GoPro camera here is picking up like quite dark tones. It's not like bright vibrant colours in the autumn, sort of greens and browns and yellows. They all seem very subdued and almost as if there's a layer of ash over everything, I think. But again, perhaps that's just my over romantic mind putting these ideas on here. So you can see how windy it is by the trees at this point, and also the fact that I'd left the front cover sides unzipped and it was being blown around and what have you, so I went down just to zip those up just very quickly. Very exciting action moment, I'm sure. We've been travelling now for just over an hour, and amazingly, even though we felt like we were going quite quick, and we've been travelling quicker than I normally would, just to give the engine a good run, well, it's the first trip out on my few months out of the marina, and amazingly we literally still haven't even done 3 miles in this last hour of travel, and like I say, we felt like we were going quite fast compared to usual, and well, just thought that was an interesting thing. I haven't really got anything else to add to this video clip, although I hope that you're seeing in the background again just the leaves everywhere, and like these trees are quite green really, but you can just see that hint of yellow in a lot of them, and that's what's making today such a nice trip. Well, my friends, we're out boating along the canal. No real aim of where we're going to moor up. We're just going until we've had enough. And just look at how fantastic this is. I mean, seriously, this is... I just can't tell you how nice it is. Especially on a nice sort of end of October, autumn day. As you can see, it's dazzling the camera. It's such a bright sun up in the sky. and it's just a beautiful way to spend any time, yet alone to literally be fetching you home along for the ride. I don't know, it's just really good to be back, and I want to try and do more of these little clips that show the actual moments of life that I really like, but it's so hard to catch them because there's so many, and so many of them are such little things that don't really make up any real significance on their own, but they're all these little moments that add up to why I love being on a boat so much. Oh, it's just great. I mean, honestly, just look at it. And again, being able to walk up and down your boat while your friend's on the tiller. And again, I mean, look how close down to the water level we are once you're in the boat, and obviously your feet are below the water level by 1 to 2 feet. Literally 2 feet below. And it's just such a great perspective, and of some of the more rural bank areas, you get to see like underneath, like the sort of almost pretty much into the little hedgerows where like the moorhens and things like that might have little nests and stuff. It's just absolutely fantastic. Oh, here's a challenge for me friend. We're coming up to a bridge. Let's hope he doesn't wreck the boat. Oh, it really is just fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful way to spend any time. So, as you can see at this bridge, not the one we just were looking at, we had a slight incident, and it looks more dramatic on this zoomed in rooftop camera angle than it actually was, and it doesn't really look that dramatic in this footage. But basically, if you look in this footage at that same bridge, the wind had just pushed us slightly off centre while my friend was on the tiller. And as we were going to the bridge, he sort of had a moment of like, uh-oh, we're not in alignment here at all. So I quickly put us in reverse just to take the speed out of the boat. But obviously losing the forward momentum let the wind push us straight across into the far side of the canal edge. But as you can see at the bridges, the canal bank is edged with these stones that make it into a long sweeping curve as it narrows down, because obviously you want just a steady water flow all going in one direction, and you also don't want just a bridge cutting into a wider canal where there's a potential for a boat to go at a right angle directly into the side of the bridge. So in the least dramatic footage ever, what you basically saw then was the front rope fender on Abel's Ark rubbing against those bottom curved stones, which literally just pushed the bow of the boat straight across in towards the opening of the bridge. Very handy, and again, a testament to the very simple, effective way that the canals were built. So, after a whopping hour and 45 minutes of travel, from unmooring in the marina to mooring up here down at the Frankton Basin, we travelled about 3.5 miles or so. And as you can imagine, travelling at those speeds, taking it easy, it was just a beautiful, fantastic day. And it was a really good, just a really nice trip. And it was about as relaxed as you could possibly imagine a boat trip being. Lovely jubbly indeed. Well, it's turned into a surprisingly overcast and grey day, really, my friends. Thought that just in case other boats came and moored up, it'd be better, well, we've got a totally free section of canal to just spin it around here and then reverse up into the arm. So when I come to go tomorrow or whenever, that I can just go straight out forwards rather than try and reverse past any other boats that might moor up in this region. And amazingly, not long after that, we had this beautiful blue sky on this, well, seemingly overcast day up to this point. So we were again stuck back with just a patch of bright sunlight and blue sky amidst a great big cloudy sky above. So we just had a wander around, we had a tinker around on board, had a look at the locks here at Frankton that lead down to the Montgomery Canal. More on those in the future, I'm quite sure. So basically, after having a good old day on the boat and what have you, me and my friend decided, because he needed to catch the bus back to Oswestry, to walk all the way up to Ellesmere again, exactly the opposite direction that we'd just travelled, and right the way to Ellesmere itself. And it was, well, really just a lovely sort of afternoon. But I think before that, let's just have a nice moment of actual undisturbed natural noise of just the water flowing in the locks here. So you're really getting a good example of just how loud it can be on a boat going through the locks, because you can imagine you've got the engine sounds that you're stood practically on top of if you're working the tiller on most boats. Then that's an engine sound enclosed between all those walls, plus the sound of all the water running this way and that way. This is a nice little thing just on the Frankton Basin here. Somebody who I assume lives in one of the local houses just put a box up on the picnic table. 3 Bramley apples. I think that what you're seeing now in just these little clips here is just how much of a difference having the sun directly hitting the autumn colours in the trees and the surroundings just absolutely sets them on fire. Not in a literal sense, of course, but it really is amazing the difference it makes from that sort of worn down ashen look to, wow, it's actually quite a vibrant environment. It's a nice little interesting shot from Ellesmere Basin after he'd walked 3.5 miles right back up the towpath. And originally I was thinking of taking the few shortcuts through fields but walking all the way back to the boat from here. But this happened. Well, in an unexpected twist, I ended up getting the bus back for about a 10-minute trip down to the Narrowboat Inn, which has now left us only around a few bends from where the boat is. So that saved me about an hour or so's walk. How perfect is this? Sound of horses' hooves going up the road, just in that direction. An inexplicable new sign that simply says Canal and River Trust on it there. I'm not entirely certain what that's serving. And you've got your old pipe and bridge here. You can see across to the other bridge over on the far side. Reflection of the house in the water. Just absolutely beautiful, sort of classic, nice, calm, tranquil area. I love that tree as well, completely covered in ivy, like the old stump of whatever was once clearly a huge and magnificent tree there. And as we go around this corner, we will see a certain boat, I hope. And there you are, my friends. Good old Narrowboat Abel's Ark. Very welcome sight to see after plenty of miles of wandering around in the countryside. So as you can probably imagine by what you're seeing on the screen now, this just sums up what I always say about so much of the joy and the love that I have for boat life. It's all about the outdoors and places like this. The day before, I opened the curtains to a marina, which was fine and no real issue. But now we're only a few miles away, and yet it's as if we're waking up in the middle of nowhere. And you've got this amazing difference in the weather conditions from day to day. And you can just see, like I say, the idea of waking up to somewhere like this and maybe thinking, this is okay, but I know somewhere better. And then untying your ropes and going off downstream somewhere, and then waking up to a different view that might be even better than this one the following day. So then, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this little look at a wonderful moment of boat life. Please do consider checking out my other videos and subscribing, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that YouTube will actually tell you when I post a video, which is always handy of them to do. And of course, please do consider checking out my short boat life books. They do pretty much go a huge way to funding the actual creation of all these videos and what have you. So they're available at narrowboatbooks.com. That'll take you straight to my Amazon page. Well, there's a link in the description below. You can find a paperback here that's a collection of some of my shorter Kindle books all put together. My Narrowboat life from beginning to end. Oh, by me. But in all seriousness, it does really help me out. So please do consider checking those out. There's other short Kindle books there. The Shropshire Canal Cat and all sorts of different things. Oh no, not another Narrowboat guidebook's one of them. But please do consider checking my books out. And feel free to add me on things like Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram and goodness knows what else. You'll find loads of links to all of that stuff in the description for this video. Until the next time, my friends, just have an absolutely fantastic day. Keep it interesting, keep it boat worthy, and of course, farewell.